Today I am going to discuss structures of igneous rocks. What are structures of igneous rocks? Those characteristic features are developed on a large scale in the body of igneous rocks, either an extrusive igneous rocks or intrusive igneous rocks are called by the name structures. If the structures are prominent and recognized by the visual inspection, then the structures are termed as macrostructures. If the structures are not prominent and when they can be examined under the microscope, then the structures are termed as microstructures. Structures of igneous rocks are broadly classified into two groups. They are structures due to mobility of magma or lava. The second one is structures due to cooling of magma or lava. Let us take one by one structures due to mobility of magma or lava. Structures due to mobility of magma or lava. Under this case, we are going to study pillow structures, ropey and blocky structures, flow structures. Let us take one by one. The number one is pillow structure. Pillow structure is formed by sodium rich lavas. When lava erupts onto the surface, it flows towards the low lying area. The flow depends upon the viscosity or fluidity of lava. As the lava flows, its upper surface will get solidified first. The interior of the lava remains hot, but the further flow is also possible and capable of flowing again. But further flow is also possible by the rupturing of earlier solidified thin mass. When rupture occurs, for example, how it appears in the diagram. This one is congealed rock mass, which means the outer surface is solidified, the interior of the lava remains hot and capable of flowing. When rupture occurs at the margin, lava flows out over previously congealed rock mass. The interior of the lava remains hot and capable of flowing. But further flow is also possible by the rupturing of earlier solidified thin mass. When rupture occurs at the margin At previously congealed mass, lava flows out again and congeals over previously congealed mass. When this process is repeated, produce a pillow-like structure. The second one is ropey and blocky structure. What are ropey and blocky structure? The ropey and blocky structures are mainly depending upon viscosity and fluidity of magma. Highly fluid lava, which means basic lava, flows to longer distances. Highly acidic lava, which means highly viscous lava, that does not able to flow longer distances. To explain ropey and blocky structure, there is a diagram. Highly fluid lava flows longer distances. Its congealed surface shows wrinkled and smooth appearance. This type of structure is called by the name ropey structure. This one is wrinkled and smooth surface. On the other hand, highly viscous lava, which means acidic lava, does not able to flow longer distances. Its congealed surface shows rough and irregular appearance. That is called by the name blocky structure. This one is smooth and wrinkled, and this one is rough and irregular. On the congealed surface, in which we are going to find wrinkled and smooth appearance, called by the name ropey structure. On the congealed surface in which we are going to find rough and irregular appearance, then it is called by the name blocky structure. The third one is flow structure. Lava simply flows on the surface from one place to another. The parallel or nearly parallel lines are developed in the body of igneous rocks by the flow of lava during the process of crystallization, when lava is less viscous and more mobile. Sometime already crystallized particles within the magma are arranged to the direction of lava's flow. That is called by the name flow structure. The second type is structures due to cooling of magma or lava. Structures due to cooling of magma or lava. Here we are going to study number 1, vesicular structure. Many lavas are rich in gaseous material. During the process of the formation of rock, the volatile material, which means the gaseous material which is present in the lava, is escaped. That leads to the formation of vesicles of various sizes and shapes. You see here how the vesicles are there, which are various sizes. Here around medium size, here bigger size, here very minute opening. These openings are developed due to the escape of volatile material. Vesicles means openings. When we are going to find these kinds of vesicles in the rock mass, then it is called by the name vesicular structure. Subsequently, these vesicles will be filled by secondary minerals such as calcites, zeolites, the quartz group of minerals like agate, chalcedony, opal, etc. Then the structure is called by the name amygdaloidal structure. You see here the rock, the white color which is present, these mineralogical constituents are zeolites. Earlier it has vesicles, but these vesicles subsequently filled by zeolites. When a rock is filled by secondary minerals, then it is called by the name amygdaloidal structure. Amygdaloidal structure. You can see secondary minerals in both the rocks. This one is vesicular basalt and this one is amygdaloidal basalt. Basalt is a volcanic rock. When lava erupts onto the surface, then the basaltic rock is formed. The volatile material which is present in that particular lava that escapes, that leads to the development of vesicles of various sizes and shapes. These shapes, when the rock is having openings of various sizes and shapes, then it is called by the name structure. When these vesicles are filled by secondary minerals, then it is called by the name amygdaloidal structure. When the rock is composed of secondary minerals, then it is called by the name amygdaloidal basalt. The next one is sheet structure. Sheet structure. Here is a diagram to understand the sheet structure. A set of horizontal joints this kind of structure has been formed during the cooling of magma or lava. Sheet structure is characterized by the development of closely spaced horizontal joints which divide the rock mass into thin slabs. This kind of structure can be seen from the rock granite. When a rock granite has sheet structure, we can easily obtain slabs from that particular rock. Without investing much amount, we can able to obtain slabs. That's why sheet structure is helpful to us to obtain slabs. The next one is columnar structure. Here is a diagram to explain columnar structure. Columnar structure is formed by the set of vertical joints. Columnar structure is characterized by few sets of vertical joints. These are all vertical joints. These joints intersect and divide the rock mass into vertical columns. You see, vertical columns, which leads to the development of polygonal, which means trigonal, tetragonal, pentagonal, hexagonal, septagonal, etc. shapes. Columnar structure can be seen in basaltic rocks again. In St. Mary's Island, we are going to find these kinds of structures. The next one is mural structure. This structure is explained by a diagram. You see, this is the rock mass. Here, one set of joints. This is another set of vertical joints. This one is another set of horizontal joints. Two sets of vertical joints one set of horizontal joints. When a rock mass is going to obtain two sets of vertical joints, these are all the two sets, and one set of horizontal joints, definitely that becomes helpful to us to obtain cuboidal blocks.